Welcome to the regularly scheduled board. That's why. How about now? Okay. Welcome to the regularly scheduled Board of Education meeting for the Washington Unified School District of July 22nd, 2021 at 5:30 p.m. Closed session is at 5:30 p.m. and an open session is at 6:30 p.m. Let's do a roll call vote. Trustee Kirby Gonzalez.
Present.
Vice President Wong.
Present.
I too am president. Clerk Venegas.
Present.
Trustee Barnes.
Present.
All right. Public comment. Well, that's out of order. So let's go closed session items. E1, Government Code Section 54957, Public Employee Discipline Dismissal Release. E2, Government Code Section 54957.6, Conference with Labor Negotiators, WSTA, CSEA, and Management. Mario, is there any public comment regarding closed session items?
No public comments were received.
Awesome. And now we can go into closed session. Thank you.
You can, you can't fix.
Yeah.
You're staring at me. So Jeff.
Okay. Whoa, whoa,
Why do you have so much feedback?
whoa.
Is something right by you?
Down muted.
Al's got to mute. There we go. Okay. Welcome back to the regular board session of Washington Unified School District. We will start with roll call. Trustee Barnes,
Present.
Clerk Venegas.
Present.
I am present. Vice President Wong
Here.
and Trustee Kirby Gonzalez.
Present.
Okay, we are all here. Let's see. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Let's have Assistant Superintendent Panu. You can start us. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Let's go to announcement of actions taken in closed session. E1, Government Code Section 54957, Public Employee Discipline Dismissal Release, Information Received. E2, Government Code Section 54957.6, Conference with Labor Negotiators, Information Received and Direction Given. Let's see. Approval of the agenda. I'm going to ask, is there anybody that has items that they would like to remove from the agenda?
Yes, President Pizzotti, I would like to remove item N15 from the consent agenda. It's regarding the contract with Madsen Roofing for the YOLO Roofing project.
Okay.
And the recommendation is to remove that from the consent agenda. Staff is reviewing our bid award procedures, and we would like the opportunity to do a little bit more of a review, and then we can bring that item back to the board for a future board agenda.
Okay, so that item will be tabled, and then
Board President Pizzotti, I would like to move N4 to action.
okay, let me make sure I get this on here. Four. Okay. Approval of the agreement with CSBA. Okay. Got it. Okay, is there anyone else that has an item that they would like to have removed or moved to action from consent? No? Okay. Hearing that, then can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda with N4 on action and the removal of N15.
Okay, great. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Trustee Barnes. Trustee Kirby Gonzalez.
Aye.
Vice President Wong.
Aye.
I too vote aye. Clerk Venegas.
Aye.
Trustee Barnes.
Aye.
Okay, great. So the agenda is approved. Moving on to J, association reports. Daniel Gandara, CSEA. Are you there, Daniel?
Hi, Daniel, your microphone's been turned on and you should be able to speak.
Can you hear me?
We got you, Daniel. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Good evening, Superintendent Hildreth, President Pizzotti, Board and Cabinet. I hope everyone has had a good summer, and I'll try to make this a quick update, but we all know how that goes. First, CSA is looking forward to having students and staff back on campus and in the classrooms this upcoming school year. We're all really excited to see students back. CSEA met with the district on Tuesday for a discussion about the opening of school and what it means for classified staff in regards to Cdph. It was a good and productive meeting, so I'd like to thank everybody that was there. I like the ideas that were brought up with a Google Doc that is potential FAQs, where we can submit questions and the district will hopefully try to answer them to the best of their ability. We will try, CSA will try to have as many questions that we come up with, probably the middle of the first week of August. We have questions in there now, but we also want to give the district enough time to answer the questions and have enough time to give it to the classified staff before they come into work. So that being said, we look forward to that. We're also given a couple documents today, and we'll be reaching out to HR in the district to negotiate the impacts and effects of these documents. So we look forward to doing that as well. Another item that has came up was earlier this year, the ELO funds that the district was allocated for paraeducators was roughly around $520,000. I know the district, if I remember correctly, was talking about filling that with 18 paraeducators and a couple other positions, if I'm not mistaken. The question we'll have is, how long is that pot going to sit there if positions are not filled, or new positions are not hired as paraeducators? I know when we started this discussion, we had recommended that we proposed that moving the 6-hour paraeducators to increase them 2 hours to make them 8 hours to use up these funds. We felt that'd be better suited for the district, but that it was in the transition of HR, so it kind of got lost in there. But we will be reaching out to HR in our next relations meeting to kind of get some clarification on this. Another item I have is our reclassification update. We were working on 3 job descriptions, which 2 we have, and I just initialed actually maybe 15 minutes ago. So those are agreed upon, and we'll put them through the 610 process. I'll vote on them in August, and then hopefully get them to the district by, or a board meeting by early September or late August meeting. I'm not sure when the next August meeting is. But speaking of that, when we started this process 4 or 5 months ago, I stated that all I wanted during this reclassification, and I know, again, we've never had a reclassification like this. And what I mean is during the transition of assistant soups of HR, right? So that made it more challenging. But that being said, I did start this process 4 or 5 months ago, stating I just wanted classified to have the same consideration that management gets when they take on additional duties. Now, I'm going to go into a little bit of what I'm talking about, not too much because I respect the privacy of the individuals, whether they're here or not. I respect them, and I don't want to get too into their finances. But the district approved a manager to oversee another department and gave this person a $23,000 increase to oversee a department. Now, within the same department, there was a position that was held for $68,000. And that position moved to another position and was never backfilled, but those duties in turn were given to a classified member. And some of those duties entail, and I'm just going to read a few of them: posting vacancies on adjoint subs and coaches, screening all applicants, providing applicants, coaches with live scans and process them as needed, communicating with subs about expiring TB tests, checking CTC, which is credentials and permits, contacting applicant references, Google searches, contacting with MOTFS for exams for any applicants, meeting with subs coaches to process paperwork, adding subs coaches to the board agenda, adding them to all proper systems we utilize: QSS, ASOP, Keenan, Home Campus for coaches, and at times Aries, ensuring subs do not go over their work hours, working with benefit accrual, working with payroll at the end of the season to submit coaches to receive their stipends, working with supervisors from local universities to help clear student teachers, ensuring mentor teachers receive payment, work with IT to get them access to our network, email, copy code, Aries, running credential reports to let staff, subs included, of expired or soon to expire credentials and permits, working with YCOE on PTC or other credentialed items they may have on the end of their QSS. And there's about 15 other ones. I'm not going to continue to read them, but here's my concern. That position that held those duties, that position left and those duties went to a classified position. We are currently working for a reclass with that classified position. The proposal that we have given is merely $5,700 annually. The proposal the district is given is roughly $2,200 annually. $2,200 annually for a position that these held at $68K. Just like when that management position, to save cost, gave an increase of $23,000 to somebody to oversee. Again, we just ask for the same consideration and the same respect as classified employees. That's all we're asking for. So with that, we just want what's fair and equitable for classified. The next item is, I'm excited to work with Ed Services this year, really next calendar year, but this school year. The Paraeducator Conference is going to be in person again. And I know before the pandemic, we used to send roughly 8 to 10 paraeducators to that conference. So I look forward, it's in March of 22. So we look forward to working with Ed Services on that. And then the last item of discussion is, we had an MOU for safety shoe. And through the years, it was done one way, then it switched for about 5 years or 4 or 5 years, and then it kind of switched these last 2 years because of YCOE. So I first want to say Mr. Panu, he did do a lot of background work to try to, he actually had it ready to go with an account with bare bones footwear. But in getting the, so I want to thank him for that work. But in talking to the membership, because it's going to have to be a new MOU, it's going to have to be ratified. The membership wasn't quite comfortable with bare bones and their limited footwear availability. So we submitted a proposal a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, on the 14th, I believe it was, to HR. And as all things, I know money is always going to be a discussion, and we understand that and we respect that. But in saying that, I do want to put out there that when Classified moved away from Keenan and their consultant fees for their medical, we saved the district $85,000 annually in consultant fees just for Classified's portion. So even if we do half of that to cover what we proposed in our MOU for the safety issue, we would like to see that. That way we can get our classified employees with some safety shoes and start this year. And with that, you guys, thank you for your time, and you guys have a good evening.
Thank you, Daniel. Let's see. I think Daniel did bring up a good point about something that maybe people don't know, even though I think we've said it a couple times, but how long does the money for paras last in our one-time money? So could somebody from the district please answer that?
Stan, you want to take that one?
So the ELO funds that we are talking about, the ELO grant, is to be expended by December of next year. So we do have a limited amount of time, although we will have some other funds that will be coming into the district that will be on top of that, the ESSER funds. And so, and that has a date as well, which goes a couple more years beyond that. So we are, and just to everyone's knowledge, we are currently trying to aggressively hire paras, and we will have HR can add to it, Mr. Panu, but their HR is putting on a job fair, which will happen next week. And one of the main parts of that is to recruit paraeducators. So we're looking forward to adding more paraeducators to our team, and we'll go for there, and they will be here hopefully for multiple years.
Okay. Before we go on to public comments, I'd just like to say that we're following Cdph and Yolo County masking guidelines for our school board meetings. So if you see us without masks, we're following the proper guidelines for what applies to school board meetings. Let's see, moving on to public comment. Mario, is there anyone keyed up for public comment?
There are no public comments received.
All right, moving on. Public hearing. There are no public hearings. Going down to M1 for information discussion, California Department of Public Health, CDPH guidance update. Dr. Cheryl Hildreth, Superintendent.
Thank you, President Pizzotti. Yes, we wanted to share with the board updates from CDC, CDPH, Yolo County regarding the health updates, especially related to the masking requirements. We know that our community really wants to have an idea of what to expect regarding masking requirements. And so we want to assure everyone that we have been following the guidance. On July 9th, the CDC released guidance, and on July 12th, Cdph released guidance, and within that short period of time, guidance has changed. I think the one thing we've learned over this past year and a half is the ability to be flexible and know that there is a need to adapt when new information is received, that we appreciate the trustees who allow district staff time to review the guidance or whatever changes are being made, so that as we share information, we want our community to believe and know we're sharing information that we have taken the time to really dig into. And so we released a update on Sunday of this past week with the information we did know. And I want to assure our community that we will continue updates, weekly updates, even if it's to say there's no changes to the guidance, just so if you want to check in, you can. So we wanted to share a brief presentation this evening on that guidance for anyone who may not have received the announcement or have the time to review it on their own. That's what we are here for. So if we can start the presentation, that would be helpful. Okay, as I mentioned before, these are the dates when the guidance was released on July 12th. And there are a lot of pieces to the guidance, but we really focused right now in the month of July on the masking requirements. And those requirements are that our K-12 students are going to be required to wear masks indoors. Adults in K-12 school settings are required to wear masks when they are sharing spaces with students. Masks are optional when students are outdoors or students and staff are outdoors. That is optional in all K-12 settings. So that was on July 12th. On July 14th, Dr. Amy Sisson, our Yolo County Public Health Officer, sent out a public release of information stating that our county recommends masking indoors and testing following for all residents because of the increase in COVID positivity rates and cases due to the Delta variant. Next slide. We wanted to give you an overview of some of the important pieces that Dr. Sisson shared. One thing she stated is that she is erring on the side of caution to slow the spread of this highly infectious Delta variant, because we know that vaccines remain the absolute best form of protection against COVID-19. And she's imploring everyone who is eligible to get fully vaccinated as soon as possible. Dr. Sisson also stated that we know that our vaccines are highly effective, but they are not perfect. And therefore, as a way to really make sure we're doing all that we can as a community, we're asking, Yolo County is asking for everyone to put on a mask indoors in settings where you can't be sure that everyone who is unmasked is fully vaccinated. And the way that our health professionals are looking at this is that is another layer of protection against COVID. And when we remember our presentations in January and February, we talked about our Swiss cheese layer of protection. Masks is another one, even if you're vaccinated when you are around students, because not all of our students, especially in our K-8 settings, have that option at this point. Next slide. So what are our key takeaways? As I've said, we're going to continue to wear masks regardless of our vaccination status. Our protocols for medical exceptions remain unchanged, meaning we know that there could be students who have a medical reason, and we do have medical protocols to follow. CDPH will continue to assess these conditions on an ongoing basis, really looking at our mask guidelines, and it will be determined no later than November 1st whether the mask requirements will be updated. But the mask guidance, part of the guidance that came out on the 12th regarding masks is effective immediately. Next slide. Other things we wanted to highlight is that within the new CDPH guidance, there are also guidelines in areas besides masks, such as physical distancing, ventilation, what to do when you need to stay home, if you're getting tested, quarantines, food service, hand hygiene, a lot of the things that we were already doing. And so as we have reviewed those guidelines, we will be sending out updates that include information about other areas besides masks. The one thing we do want to highlight in terms of what to expect from our schools is that all schools are going to be required to develop a protocol and to ensure that if a student inadvertently forgets a mask, that they are able to get one from the school. Additionally, the district team will be working with our school leaders to determine what will be the protocols and guidelines if a student just refuses to wear a mask. So we are going to be working with our school leaders when they return to develop what are those systems. We are fortunate in terms of the community that we are in and our students who, when those who returned in hybrid in April, we didn't have students who were just not wearing a mask. Yes, did we have students who forgot to wear a mask? But as soon as one was offered to them, they did put it on. So we are always going to presume the very best about our students, but we will still have a protocol in place. Next slide. I reviewed really the next steps about what we're doing here as a district staff and providing updates and making sure that this information is shared on our website with our school leaders and making sure that our community knows that we will be ready to receive all of our students on August 11th, either in person or those who have opted for the exciting virtual academy. Next slide. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Got to take it off mute. Thank you very much, Dr. Hildreth. Is there any questions or comments from the board? Trustee Kirby-Gonzalez.
Okay, thank you. I know that we are still waiting for logistics and to work through some of this, but thinking about our students, while they might not need to wear a mask, it's optional outdoors. Of course, when they go into a restroom, they do need to put that mask on. And so thinking through, I know this will be a logistical challenge for staff to think about what that looks like, so we're not having masks just all over the place. And so one thing to look into that I've just found is my kids are masked all the time. It's easy is we just have a little like short lanyard, and that might be a good thing to invest in the district. It's light, especially a light one with just a little clip, and that might be something to consider doing so kids can easily take it off, eat their food, or and easily go into the restroom and put it back on. And so I know our families are going to be interested in, and they've already reached out to me, especially some of our very vulnerable children that are too young to be vaccinated. How do we know that when they are moving settings that they will continue to be protected and safe?
Thank you for that. And that's one of the things the conversations we're going to be having with the school leaders who return next week, because again, it helps. We are thinking about how we're going to keep our students safe, not only as the lens of educators, but of the lens as parents. And so I believe that when we look at protecting youth through those two lenses, those we want our parents and community to know how we envision. But the more people let us know what their questions are, that helps us making sure that people feel confident when they return. So thank you for that.
Okay. This is just a kind of something I wanted to mention. It's similar to the topic, and I've already reached out to you, Dr. Hildreth, about this, but Senator Pan's office reached out to me. They're seeking student volunteers that are vaccinated to be a part of a campaign to help get other students peer-to-peers vaccinated, and it would be spokespeople. It's chance to speak at campaign events, and also go to different schools, and reach out to other kids, and kind of be leaders. Thank you all. Be leaders in their community on getting this campaign, this movement for kids 12 and up. So if there are any teachers or administrative staff watching that think they know of a couple of good students they would like to reach out to, that would be great. So I just wanted to put that out there as we start to talk about vaccinations and masking and all that. Moving on. We're on to the consent agenda minus N4, I believe, and removed N15. All right. So is there any other things that could potentially be removed from the consent agenda? Speak now, forever hold your peace. Okay. Is there a motion on the consent agenda?
I move.
Moved by Vice President Wong.
Second.
Second by Trustee Barnes. Trustee Barnes.
Aye.
Aye.
Clerk Venegas.
Aye.
I too vote aye. Vice President Wong.
Aye.
And Trustee Kirby Gonzalez.
Aye.
Okay, the consent agenda is adopted. And let's see. Let me scroll down here. There we go. Moving on to action items. The approval of the 2021-2022 salary schedule for classified management, confidential, certificated, and certificated management effective July 1, 2021. Kamaljeet Panu, Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources.
Thank you, President Pavati, trustees, Superintendent Hildreth. Staff is presenting.
Can't hear you.
He's muted.
There you go. You're unmuted now.
No?
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. We're bringing forward salary schedules for classified management, confidential employees, certificated and certificated management for approval. Throughout the 2020-2021 school year, the district engaged in negotiations with CSCA and WSTA to reach an agreement of an additional 3% salary increase over the 2021 salary schedules was reached for each association. I'm echoing really bad. The salary schedules presented today reflect the increases agreed to during the negotiations process. Additionally, this same percentage was provided to classified management, confidential, and certificated staff. So we're asking for approval of these salary schedules this evening.
All right. Thank you. Mario, is there any public comment on this one?
There are no public comments received.
Thank you. Is there any comments from the board? Seeing and hearing none, can I get a motion?
I move.
Moved by Vice President Wong, second by Clerk Venegas. We'll start with Vice President Wong.
Aye.
Clerk Venegas.
Aye.
Trustee Barnes.
Aye.
Trustee Kirby Gonzalez.
Aye.
And I too vote aye. The measure is adopted or approved. Adoption of resolution number 2122-01. Certification of signatures. Monique Stovall, Assistant Superintendent of Business Services.
Good evening, President Sadi, trustees, and Superintendent Hildreth. This evening, staff brings to you a request for approval of the Resolution 2122-01, certification of signatures. By adopting this resolution, the governing board authorizes the designated persons named in the resolution to sign all orders of funds in its name. Upon approval, business office will forward the resolution to the Yolo County Superintendent of Schools. It's recommended tonight for the Board of Education to approve the resolution 2122-01, certification of signatures.
Thank you. Let's see. Is there any questions or comments? Actually, public comment?
No public comment received.
Okay. It's right there. All right. Thank you. Let me read the resolution. Whereas Education Code Section 42632, each order drawn of the funds of a school district shall be signed by at least a majority of the members of the governing board of the district, or by a person or persons authorized by the governing board to sign orders in its name. No persons other than an officer or employee of the district shall be authorized to sign orders. Whereas Education Code Section 42633, the governing board of each school district shall be responsible for filing or causing to be filed with the county superintendent of schools the verified signature of each person, including members of the governing board, authorized to sign orders in its name. No order on the funds of any school district shall be approved by the county superintendent of schools unless the signatures are on file in this office and he is satisfied that the signatures on the order are those persons authorized to sign the order. Whereas it is believed that the authorization of an employee to sign all orders of funds for the district will be expedited the execution of the school district financial transactions. And whereas Section 42632 of the Education Code of the State of California authorized such a procedure. Now, therefore, be it resolved and hereby ordered that effective July 23rd, 2021. Okay. Having read that, is there a motion to adopt the resolution?
I move.
Thank you, Vice President Wong.
I second.
A second by Trustee Barnes. Guys, got to be quick on the draw. Trustee Barnes.
Aye.
Clerk Venegas.
Aye.
I too vote aye. Vice President Wong.
Aye.
Trustee Kirby Gonzalez.
Aye.
Okay, the resolution is adopted. Approval of Consolidated Application 2021-22, application for funding. Stan Moisich, Assistant Superintendent of Ed Services.
Well, thank you. And tonight we are asking for the approval of the 2021-22 consolidated application. And before our Director of Compliance and Accountability hops on to finish this item, I wanted to say that I made a mistake earlier. President Pizzati, you asked me about the ELO funds expenditure. It's actually the end of August 22, and I believe I said December. So
Okay.
So I just wanted to make sure I add that clarification in for the record before we go any further. Thank you so much. All right, Stephanie, thank you very much.
Of course. Good evening, President Pizzotti, board members, Superintendent Hildreth, audience members. This evening, we are requesting your approval of the 2021-22 consolidated application. This application demonstrates the district's participation in Title I, Title II, Title I Part A, Title II, Title III, and Title IV. These are the federally funded titles that Washington Unified District meets eligibility for. All assurances have been completed and submitted. Once again, we do not meet the eligibility for the Title III immigrant funding due to the fact that there was a decline in the number of immigrant students in the district. Any questions?
Let me ask first for public comment, Mario.
There are no public comments received.
Okay, seeing here none. So is there public comments or questions from the board?
Yeah,
Vice
Juan,
President Wong?
I'm curious.
I'm sorry, I couldn't.
How steep was the decline for the Title III?
Oh, we currently have 165. It was a small decline. I can get those exact numbers, but we currently have 165. And I don't know off the top of my head what it was last year, but it is a small decline.
Thank you.
Did we qualify the year before?
No, last year
Okay,
we
so
did
we
not
haven't-
meet eligibility either. So it's been
Okay.
2 years of a small decline. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
last year I think it was 4 students, and this year again I'd have to go back and look.
Is there any other questions from the board? No? Is there a motion?
I move.
Moved by Trustee Barnes,
I'll second.
seconded by Trustee Kirby Gonzalez. Trustee Kirby Gonzalez.
Aye.
Vice President Wong.
Aye.
I too vote aye. Clerk Venegas.
Aye.
Trustee Barnes.
Aye.
All right, that measure is approved. Moving on to N4 for action, approval of the agreement with California School Boards Association and Washington Unified School District membership for the 2021-22 school year. Dr. Cheryl Hildreth. This was pulled by you. Cheryl, did you, or
Hold on.
Trustee Kirby Gonzalez, I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's a good name to be called. I just wanted to clarify with the, as we move to this, what that means for the public in terms of looking at our policies. I know for a while, the school district was looking to, save some funds maybe and update the policies on our website, but I know that that is a very cumbersome on staff. It's hard to keep those updated regularly, and it's really hard to search as a member of the public or a board member or anybody else through those policies. So just to hear what this looks like in terms of our policy change, I think is important to state publicly.
Thank you, Trustee Kirby Gonzalez. Yes, so what the change will be is through CSBA, there is a platform called Gamut where you are able to, it's software that allows you to upload information or things that are already pre-populated. And as Trustee Kirby Gonzalez mentioned, this was a service that the district did not utilize in past years. And now we want to ensure that as we get training to change to this service so that our policies are easier to access for all of us. So that is the reason that we wanted to make sure that this change is highlighted.
Can I add, we had it at one point, we got rid of it to save money.
Oh, okay.
We're going to trust Kirby Gonzalez. As your policy chair who lived through that, it's actually, Gamut is much more easier, much more transparent. Can you hear me now? No echo. So again, as your policy chair, I would say that we had it and then we got rid of it. And Gamut is a really easy tool. Hopefully staff would attest to being able to amend easier in Gamut and have that made more quickly for the public. So I support re-registering for Gamut.
Thank you. That's my update.
Okay.
And with that, and knowing too, I know they've made changes even more for the better. And so I will happily make a motion to approve.
All right. Is there a second?
I second.
Moved by Trustee Kirby Gonzalez and seconded by Vice President Wong. We'll start with Vice President Wong.
Aye.
Trustee Kirby Gonzalez.
Aye.
Trustee Barnes.
Aye.
Clerk Venegas.
Aye.
And I too vote aye. We are going on now to board and superintendent comments. Dr. Hildreth.
Yes, I wanted to take this opportunity to highlight and celebrate the summer programs that have occurred in our district in June through July. We were able to offer more programs than we have in the past, making sure that we ended the year in a manner that we heard was important to the board, to staff, and to families, which is additional opportunities. And this is how we started with using our additional state and federal funds. So to start off with just giving you a little highlights of what was accomplished, we had purchased a program called My Spanish Journey. And it's an online program. It received rave reviews. Our participants reported that they enjoyed the authentic and engaging lessons. And our total enrollment was about 106 students who utilized My Spanish Journey, with 22 in grades K through 2, 25 students in grades 3 through 5, 38 in grades 6 through 8, and 8 students in grades 9 through 12. And then there were 13 students in our Spanish dual immersion program who took advantage of My Spanish Journey. So that was a highlight. Another highlight is, as always, we focus on supporting our students and making sure that if they were not able to graduate in June, that they had opportunities in the summer for credit recovery for our seniors and any other students who might need that experience. And so we had approximately 306 students enrolled at River City High School, with about 180 coming in person. There was a 91% passage rate. 433 courses were completed. We had 2,165 credits earned, and we had 17 summer graduates. And that is really the point of doing credit recovery. For YOLO Education Center, we also had credit recovery. We had 3 weeks with a virtual lab component. We had 33 students attended in person. 26 courses were completed using Edgenuity, which was our online platform for students to take courses. And we also had 2 additional students who were able to use this extended learning time to graduate high school. So we want to make sure that our students know that we just keep going. We just keep pushing. We just keep offering opportunities for success. We had an amazing summer program at Elkhorn. We had our English Learner Institute, our extended school year for our students with disabilities, and we added a dual immersion program. We had over 225 students, 27 teachers, numerous support staff. It was the focus of the theme was sea otters. So everything really revolved around sea otters. And when we did pre and post assessment data, 98% of our students grew in both their oral and written language skills in only 19 days. So that helps us really see small groups, focused intervention time, really extending opportunities. And when students take advantage of them, we see the outcomes that we want. Newly in our wheelhouse this summer, we had Camp Yampa, where that was really our performing arts, our virtual arts program. We had 26 6th through 8th grade students, and our students, our staff, we had They created art and had fun and made friends. We had FEV tutoring offered. We had 128 students participate in that. And then we also had our summer acceleration program, which was our virtual summer acceleration program, where we had 4 weeks of live instruction via Zoom, 3 days a week for students who were entering grades 3 through 8. And there was independent learning. We had math and reading lessons, science. We called them WAGs, or Weeks at a Glance, and they had daily activities in 3 to 4 subjects. We had 84 students who attended the live instruction sessions, and most of the students who attended the live instruction did 8 of the 12 lessons. And we always like to get a little feedback from our students. And so they said, we asked them, what did you like best about the live instruction? And so they shared things like, I got to see my teacher in real life. I like that we got to learn about math and ELA in a fun way, so it did not feel like school. I like it because it is a good amount of time and it is fun. You could ask a question and it would be answered almost immediately. So they want that immediate feedback. We also asked, is there anything else you would add to the live instruction? So they shared and they said, thank you for preparing us for 6th grade and thank you for teaching us. Can you add more instruction so we could have maybe more 1-to-1 or 1-to-2? It would have been a little bit easier the smaller the groups. One student said, I liked it, I wouldn't change anything. And they wanted to watch more math videos. So really things you may not think that the students were experiencing. I think it just goes to show the more we talk to our kids, the more we'll learn from them. 2 other district updates outside of summer school. We just want to highlight that we're hosting a job fair on Tuesday, July 27th from 4 to 7 at the district office. We'll have representatives from all of our departments. We want to meet and greet interested candidates, discuss career opportunities here in Washington Unified, answer questions, on-the-spot applications. We want people to feel the excitement that we feel by being a part of this wonderful district. So please share that information with anyone you know who might be interested. And then lastly, as we prepare for our return to school and starting school, we still want to focus on the need for vaccines. And so there is a part of an effort to increase access to COVID-19 vaccines. Yolo County is extending the free call to order program to deliver and administer COVID-19 vaccines to residents in all of Yolo County through July 30th. Residents 12 and older who would like to get vaccinated at their home or business can call this number, and we'll post it on the website, 530-666-8665. They can call at any time to schedule an appointment to be vaccinated. So we want to be sure we get that word out, because that is definitely a convenience that many people would value. And that's it. That's what I wanted to share with you for this week.
Thank you, Dr. Hildreth. Let's start with Trustee Kirby Gonzalez.
Okay, thank you. That was great. And the summer programming, I think, couldn't be better. And in going around, what an honor it was to go visit the programs, as I know my colleagues and trustees did as well. And to talk to kids who were just smiling and so enthusiastic about being there, hear their projects, hear them speak in Spanish. One of the students said to me, "You don't speak in Spanish much, do you?" When I was working with him. So he was right. I need to keep brushing up. But I just really loved, it was so rewarding to do that. And when I spoke to some of the educators who were teaching, and I said, thank you for doing this. Thank you. After a hard year and exhaustion, thank you. And they said, oh, I wanted to be here. This is great. I'm loving it here. And I think that that really speaks to one, their character, but also the way that these programs are designed. And summer school has always been a great place to visit in this district and an impressive place to visit. And this year it was even more so. Every single day having that built-in PD that's done strategically and thoughtfully. Not everywhere do you feel the energy of the teachers you feel here when they're going to the PD. And that really speaks to how well it's done. And the educators, the principals there say, we would love to kind of really cycle this through and get all of our educators through here because you learn such great strategies that you use during the school year in the classroom. And it's all PBL all the way. And so it's one of my favorite things to see. And this year it was just even better because it was expanded to more kids. And the Camp Yampa was so student-led and wonderful. And again, exactly what we want from our kids, their voices speaking up. And you can't say enough good things about it. It's really incredible work that's happening. In terms of those week at a glance, the WAGs, I hope that, the COVID dollars, this one-time use we had to develop all this, I hope that that can stay because all this time went into creating them. They really are good and they can maybe just be tweaked a tiny bit to have on the website ongoing. I know my girls, they didn't do the live time, but we hopped on to start doing some lessons now, starting at the beginning, day one, but those are things that anyone can do really at any time. So if somebody's interested now to get ready to rev back up to school, kind of be thinking in the mindset, getting their schedules back at home, it's a really, really nice offering that we have. In terms of, which also makes me think of camp, because I was away at Girl Scout camp, which is why I wasn't at the YOLO 2x2. So thank you to President Pizzotti for stepping in. Look forward to hearing about that. And I would be interested as a board to know what our camp will look like, maybe with, I know that Sly Park is run through Sac County Office of Ed. I'm sure that they are working through what the guidelines mean for them. But what does that mean then for us as a district in terms of our kids being able to go to camp this year? What is that going to look like? And would there be opportunities possibly for students that missed out to go as well? I know logistically that's a challenge because they fill up quick. So I'm interested to know just what that looks like and what they're maybe thinking. And then in terms of looking at the governance calendar, which I'm excited to have. And I think this is our format that we had in the past. And so I think that this will be a good resource. I saw a board governance calendar on there. So if we could have something like this, I think it will be helpful. And as we look at the policy on protecting transgender students, I know Vice President Wong, you're looking at, maybe we can look at adding, I could not find policy on flags in our district, but if we could look at the pride flag and having that up during Pride Month, I think that that would be something I would be interested in, and I'm sure others would be as well. And I think, and then also the equity policy that we talked about needing to update for that. And I know we have one more meeting before school starts, but it's coming up very quick. And so the best way to protect our kids, especially our kids who are too young to be vaccinated, is to get vaccinated. And so please do if you have not. And also looking into our regular testing that we've had to protect our kids too. It's so simple to do. And I'm so glad that we have this partnership with the district with Bionex. And so I know our families will be interested in hearing more about what that looks like as the school year continues and how that they can have access. But it's been a great gift in our family even. You know, my husband who's vaccinated but had a fever, and we were able to go and grab one of those tests real quick. The store, it's easy to do. And so I'm very thankful for that work and the partnership there. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Trustee Kirby Gonzalez. Trustee Barnes.
Thank you. I think you guys have covered most of it. I also loved all of the summer programs. It was awesome to tour that as a new board member. So I appreciate also all of the work that the staff and the administration over the summer did. I know that was tough to implement, but it was a really huge benefit for us. And I love learning about the Keystone animals. I had no idea there were all these different curriculums on animals that were important to keeping our ecosystem running smoothly and strongly. So I just love what the kids are learning. I think that's great. My first grader said it was fun. So that was great. I appreciate the mention of the pride flag as well. I know WESAC doesn't do anything. I did actually reach out to some people this year to see if there was something like Sacramento does, like lighting the Capitol. And I'm not sure that we do anything. So I think that would be really valuable. And then as we start school, I know this is going to be another year. So I also think that vaccinations are important, very important. I encourage anyone who can get them to get them. And also to remember to be kind to each other and to, let's work together this year as a community, because I think we are going to have a lot of new challenges and hurdles in all different, not just physical health, but mental health as well. So I'm looking forward to, putting to use some of our COVID money for that, and looking at what we can potentially do to help each other and really embrace each other and hopefully support each other through the not cold.
Go ahead, keep talking. I got it.
Well,
Okay. So, yeah, quick thank you to everybody who's working in this heat, right? Dr. Hildreth is finding out that Sacramento just keeps getting hotter and hotter and hotter. So really, thank you to everybody who has kept that energy, because I know that in traveling to our school sites, but also around Sacramento, students were so eager to come on campuses, and parents really having the opportunity to be part of summer programs. And it takes a staff really digging deep and having that presence, having that energy that our students so much seeked, that attention, and really making it fun. And that has to come, fun comes from an organic place. So I have to shout out every single staff member that was out there, and really serving our students in need. And I also want to echo the focus on really being vigilant and aware of our mental health as we are moving back into in-person, and not just ignoring it, but making it a priority to make sure that we are holistically looking to serve our community, because I know it's going to be a high need, and definitely looking forward to putting it as a priority, but also being present with our students and with our families. So thank you to all who have been out there again in this heat, which is no joke in Sacramento. So that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Clerk Venegas. Vice President Wong.
Ditto to all of summer school, thank you staff and students. I have to say, again, yeah, I agree. Trustee Gonzalez, our summer programming every single year is always inspirational. Our English language learners, our new programs, Spanish, all of that. I have to actually give a little bit of kudos to the Camp Yampa folks. Camp Yampa? Yampa. So it's like I had not realized, and I made the connection there, and I had realized like last year, this was a project of last year's students during COVID, right? And so it was their summer program as internships with the West Tech Home Run program that they got an opportunity to work with the city to plan it out, and then they were given this budget to implement it. What did you get to do that as a junior or senior, right? So talk about life skills, talk about all the things that they learned during COVID last year when people were saying, oh, we can't do this, that, the other. This was their brainchild, and how amazing was it that we were able to actually fulfill their dream in a sense. And so that to me, I want to say it's my favorite. Like, I love all my kids, but really the idea that this was truly like student-led, student-designed, student programmed was just amazing if you really think about kind of the skills that we provided them there. So appreciate that. And you mentioned the county 2x2. We were able to have a conversation about the American Rescue Plan that was robust and made my pitch for school-based health centers. Supervisor Sandy, if you're watching again. So he's, and mental health, holistic health, whole child, whole family has been something I've been talking about for ever since I've been on the board, right? And so I put it out there. I kept putting it out there. And so I know that Supervisor Sandy and Supervisor Vegas are working on it, and they have done their listening tours around the county, including West Sacramento. I participated in the one in West Sacramento here with others around the community, and it was amazing. We're actually on the same page as a community around a lot of the use of the ARP funds and the county dollars around whole child. But what is also was really fascinating is this concept around farm to school stuff, right? Which we know we had mentioned a little while ago. The first partner came and visited, but this concept that we are here in the middle of a lot of farmland. And how do we actually integrate both the ag program, the career pathway program, and actually get fresh food to kids in our schools, right? Think about this. We actually export most of the vegetables and food here out hundreds of miles out, only to get imported back in packages. Think about that. We export our like, down the road, we have fresh vegetables that get exported to other cities to get packaged and sent back. We do have our salads and whatnot, but I'm wondering whether or not there is a possibility with use of ARP funds that one, help the farmers who have been struggling during ARP, also address food insecurity for our families, fresh food insecurity, and also actually integrate that in our ag program. So, which is really this amazing program. Again, it's not our dollars. I always tell them I'm happy to spend somebody else's dollars, right? And we have ideas, and so, but I also know that the school-based health centers, or actually we had discussed the possibility with these community school programs coming out, that we apply that, but also kind of get those school-based services, those mental health services on every single campus, because the state budget has $300 million statewide, and I think that we are primed to actually apply for those grants for each of our school sites, and we already have YCCA as the family resource centers that we can expand on. So I know, Dr. Hill, you have put that on the table as possible use of ARP funds. So lots of really good conversations with all these one-time dollars to be transformative in what we want to do for our communities and our kids. And just again, even today, I had my own commission meeting that I staffed somebody else on. And it was this is actually a very transformative budget. We have $4.4 billion, that's B, not M, $4.4 billion over the course of 3 years to make a mental health investment, transform a mental health system for children ages 0 to 25. Right, Yolo County is in a position to lead in this conversation because of the work we've done around the mental health work that Trustee Kirby Gonzalez and I have seeded with MHSSA. And what does that mean, right? And the ARP dollars. So really excited about what that means to lead as Yolo County in this space with a transformative mental health conversation. That's it. And yes, and so the last note about the flag, we don't need a policy for that. We should just, when we adopt it every single, we should just do it. Yeah. By the way, I don't think that there needs to be a policy that we should just, we can, but I would just say, I think that every year we should just make the commitment if that's what we want to do when we pass the resolution in July. Let's just, we would just quiet.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Vice President Wong. I don't know if my thing says my internet connection is unstable, so I hope people can hear me.
Next to me, I can hear you.
Okay, good. As long as y'all can hear me. I just wanted to say, first off, welcome to our first in-person meeting and meeting Monique Stovall. Is it Stovall or Stovall. Okay, Monique Stovall. This is the first time we actually get to meet you entirely as a board and say hello. You get to, witness our insanity, and we appreciate you for being here, and welcome.
And we're almost gonna end at 8.
Right, and this I want you to know is completely unusual, right?
We're gonna make it.
Completely unusual. Okay. So I did want to say also thank you to all the teachers and staff and administrators for the summer programs that ran through. My daughter happened to go through the Summer Boost program, and she went in kicking and screaming, like legitimately throwing a fit about having to go to summer school, which she thought, and came out saying, I loved it. So, for her at Bridgeway, it was about science. And so they did all the PBL around science, and she absolutely loved it. So because she loves anything that has to do with outer space. So it became something of a joy to get her to go to school. She's like, all right, Dad, come on, let's not be late. The only thing she didn't like was it starting at 8 o'clock in the morning versus 8:30. Right. So she was like, I don't want to get up. But you're going to Summer Boost. Okay, let's go. So with that, she was utterly thrilled. And that was pretty much the sentiment of all the kids in the class. So that was great. And it was great to hear reports like that. The other thing I wanted to touch on the call to order vaccine was, you mentioned it briefly that businesses are also eligible for the call to order vaccines. I just hope anybody who has, kids in the district that also work here in a district that have businesses in the city, you can call, the businesses themselves can call and say, hey, we've got X number of people that want to get vaccinated. Come on out to get vaccinated, and they can have a vaccination clinic. So that's great, right? The more and more people we can get vaccinated, even at the work site, is a great idea. So I hope people take advantage of the churches as well. I hope people take advantage of this call to order vaccine program, which is fabulous. I think that's one of the greatest ways that we can reach out, is to have people come to the house or come to the work site. I was also there with Vice President Wong for the 2x2, and I agreed that the health clinics are just a fabulous idea, and I certainly hope that we can somehow pull that into fruition.
I tried.
I mean, you were definitely advocating, and not so subtly. So, I would love to see that happen, because I think that would be a benefit to not only our district, but also the community. So, let's see. I think I touched on everything I wanted to touch on. No, there is one other thing. I did want to I've talked to you about this, Dr. Hildreth, but I kind of want to put it out there. In terms of a testing program for athletics or extracurricular, anything extracurricular, I was hoping to see, much like in college, any student athlete that is a part of a team or some kind of extracurricular program where there's a congregate setting and it's indoors, or it's a contact sport, whatever. I'm thinking that we should match similarly that program, and usually it's like a 2-week testing program, where if you want to play sports, you have to submit a test, right? Because we don't want to if somebody is positive, we don't want to get the rest of our classmates and students positive, but also we don't want to spread that, if we're playing in a game, to other schools. So I would certainly hope that we really think about how we implement a mandatory testing program for any student athlete or extracurricular program, especially like, choir or band or anything like that. We just want to be as safe as possible. So with that, that's all I have. So we shall move on now to board governance. There's nothing under board governance. Future board agenda items are: 1, confirm the update of COVID guidelines after Cdph updates school guidance in August 2021. R2, policies, resolutions to support transgender students to be determined. R3, finalize board governance 2021-2022 calendar and board self-evaluations, August 2021. R4, finalize updates to policies, August 2021. And then is there anybody that wants to add a board agenda item?
One, can I ask if we have an idea of, it says, we're confirming the updates. I know that we have a meeting in August, the beginning, but in terms of when families can expect to see this, would it be sooner?
Yes, we, in my update that went out this past week, I let families know that we would have weekly updates, available announcements, and since our school leaders are coming back next week, and we will be meeting with them, we will also ensure that updates are sent to families through their school principal, because we know a lot of times, especially the closer we get to school starting, they're going to be looking to what's happening at their particular school site. So it will be both through the district and through each school sending out information.
Perfect, thank you. And then I would just propose maybe it's something to think about at your next city school 2x2, is the idea of maybe, remember we did years ago with Dr. Pan, Senator Pan, a meeting on the whole child initiative, I believe it was. And we did it with the city and we did it with the school district. And so thinking about an idea that maybe with all these COVID dollars, this time of talking about mental health, it impacts our whole city, all of our kids. Maybe this is a good opportunity to have a city and school district partnership in terms of a town hall meeting, possibly. So something to consider, because I think that as we talk about mental health and how it impacts us, we really are united in a school district, a city, and a county.
All right.
Whatever happened to that report?
Don't know. Right.
Good agenda.
All right. Let's see. Anybody else? If nothing else, the agenda is clear and we are adjourned. All right. Yay. Right?